Everyone, welcome back to SAT Math Question of the Day. Here's our question. Please try it. Pause the video, and we will get back to it and try it. Okay, here we go. A, the amount A in dollars earned for lending a stock on margin and holding it for M months is given by the equation. Earned, so you're making money. How many months of holding are needed for the earnings to be $0? So, the earnings are A. 0 means you put 0 is equal to 3.5 negative 88 plus M. Now, you can sort of see the answer is 88, right?
Well, obviously, M is the only value that makes that expression 0 is for M to be positive 88.
Yeah, positive 88.
And M is the units, is the number of months they're asking for. So the answer is 88.
Yeah, they're asking for how many months. So you plug it in there. Yeah. So I would be suspicious of this problem if they called it an advanced linear equation word problem, because it's not that advanced. So it's something someone would have to second guess yourself, saying, "Are we missing something?"
But what would you say the lesson or the approach is?
Well, the approach is to pay attention to the variables and what the variables mean in the context of the problem, and what are they giving you, what is known and what is unknown, and what do you need to solve for. And it also helps to understand the problem a little bit.
Okay, I disagree. I think really? I say that what you said is a helpful approach for many problems.
Okay.
But this is one for which it isn't.
Really? Oh, I'm dying to know what where you're coming at.
Because first of all, this is a really ridiculous model for behaviors of earnings on stocks.
Not necessarily.
Well, like it's based on it asserts that the earnings are predictable for 88 months.
Okay, yeah.
Utterly crazy, you go forget it. Okay. So my take of this is one approach to SAT questions is when the model is kind of nonsensical, the approach is to simplify the question.
Okay.
And I will agree that's important to realize that the question they're asking is how many months make A. There are two letters. There's A for earnings, and so we have A for earnings, and you're interested in when A becomes 0. And the answer is the number of months. And the number of months is M, which is the variable in the equation. So what's interesting about what's useful about the program is you connect these three, this concept, earnings, 0, and A, with months, M, and with months and M. And so the question really it becomes a simple algebra question. What value of M makes A 0? And then from the form of the equation, it's really, 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 really obvious that it's 88.
Now, Seth, wait. Let's go back just 1 second. You said, what was my approach? When I gave you the approach, I did not use specific numbers. I gave you a general approach that's appropriate for problems.
I know. But what I'm giving is variations of an approach that are better may be better for certain problems.
So then why don't you give that approach but don't use any specific numbers? What is your general approach that you use? Please don't
My
use
general
any
approach
numbers
is
specific in this problem.
that is to recognize situations where the model, this concept of months, earnings, margin,
Okay.
lending a
Right.
stock on margin,
The
whatever
model.
that means.
The model.
That too, the approach is those are unimportant features of the question,
Okay.
and the approach is to extract the features of the question that indicate what mathematical problem they're asking you to solve.
It sounds a lot like my approach. But in other words, you're saying, who cares? Who cares about the English? You're saying who cares about the English? You look at A is equal to 3.5.
No, the whole
minus
thing is
88.
written in English. Well, no,
No,
I'm
no,
saying
no.
is who
You're saying
cares?
just look at
Who
this.
cares
And M
that
is a
M
question mark.
is a number of months,
Right.
A is a number of dollars, and that there's a margin of stock involved, and that there's an earning, somebody earns money, and that there's money involved. Notice that in this model, the earnings are negative.
Okay, fine. So
Sometimes.
your approach is simply look at it and as quickly as possible recognize it as a math problem and not worry about the fluff, not worry about the situation.
However, that is an approach that works well for certain problems in the SAT.
Yeah.
Other problems in the SAT will succumb to the opposite approach, where you read the problem really, really carefully and figure out things based upon everything that the problem says.
So then how do you know ahead of time? How do you know ahead of time?
How do you know ahead of time?
Yeah, how do you, if you have to
use your brain.
So in other words, you need a little bit of experience going through the problems, and you assess each problem.
Yes, you need experience. You need experience and some thoughtfulness.
So you evaluate every problem on its own basis, recognizing that some problems you do almost you don't have to understand the context of the problem at all, and other problems the context is absolutely critical.
Well, even more so, some problems like this. If you begin to understand the context and then think about the context and realize how ridiculous and stupid that context is, you'll be led astray, and you'll get confused, and you may end up over-interpreting the problem and getting it wrong. But
I read it. It's a little weird. It's a little strange.
Take it with a grain of salt. That if a problem has many grains of salt in it, don't get sick. Don't get poisoned. Don't get salt poisoning. If you drink too much salt water, you'll get poisoned. So every problem has grains of salt. If a problem has too many grains of salt, don't suck on them.
Yes. Yeah, right. I'm just trying to understand this problem. What it's essentially saying is after 88 months, you earn $3.50 a month by holding it on margin. That's essentially what it's saying. No.
You earn a negative. You lose money. Your earnings are negative.
Right.
And then they get less and less negative until 88 months pass, in which case you're even. And then after that, your earnings become positive.
Right, you're earning $3.50.
But what does it mean for earnings to be negative?
Earnings to be negative means that the book value means if you look on your statement, it'll mean that as right then you lost.
It means you owe money.
No, it doesn't mean you owe money. It means that if you cashed out,
if you buy a stock, right? You pay $1,000 to buy a stock,
right?
And you haven't sold it, and you haven't had any dividends. Would you say that your earnings are negative?
No,
because you still own the stock.
Yeah, if you sold it, you would get a little.
But here you are lending the stock.
Yeah. So if you.
So we have to get into what it means.
Yeah, which we're not going to do.
Lend a stock on margin.
We're not going to do that. We're not.
That means you buy the stock at a low price.
Yeah.
I don't understand it.
Okay,
I thought.
Forget it. Let's not get into it.
You sell the stock. When you buy a stock on margin, means I think it means you sell the stock. And
just forget it.
You borrow the stock and then you sell the stock, right?
No.
And then you hope that in the future you could buy the stock back at a lower price.
No, Seth, forget it. No, just very quickly. You buy a stock, right? You buy a stock. You have it in your portfolio. Let's say it's AST, whatever that stock is, right? You have it in your stock, right? You paid for it. Then what you do is then you tell the brokerage company, if you want it, you can lend that out to someone else. You still own the stock.
Oh.
And therefore, and then presumably you make some money. But if you want to cash out and you say, game over, I want out of the stock entirely, and you do it before 88 months, you're not going to get back all the money you paid for the stock. But if you hold it for more than 88 months, then every month you're going to get it earns, I guess it earns $3.50.
So you lend the broker, you own the stock.
You own the stock.
And the broker lends it to another investor.
Right. Earn for lending a stock on margin. Earn for lending a stock. I think that's what it means.
And then the other investor pays interest?
Wait. Earn for lending a stock on margin.
Yeah.
I think that's what it means, but I'm not sure. It doesn't even. You're right. It doesn't really matter.
See, we are going down a rabbit hole.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter.
We are demonstrating that if that's in this problem could lead a student to go down a rabbit hole,
right,
and get in trouble when taking the SAT. After the test is finished, what a curious student would do is say, hey, does this make any sense?
Right.
And then go and consult a knowledgeable person or look it up on Wikipedia or other reliable place on the internet and find out what does margin mean?
Yeah.
This really makes sense.
See, it's more common to say buying a stock on margin. That makes a lot more sense. But anyway, it doesn't matter. That would be easy to understand.
Yeah, I thought margin mean that you borrow money.
Yeah, that's what margin means.
You borrow money
right
from the broker to buy the stock.
Exactly. That's why buying here would have made more sense.
And then
that's why buying would have made more sense.
Yeah,
but it doesn't.
Yeah.
Anyway,
what happens if the stock I don't know.
Yeah, forget it.
The stock goes down.
Seth, we're wasting everyone's time. Let's see.
Okay, let's see how. Yeah, I agree. So let's move on.
We're wasting.
Type in the answer. See how they answer it, and we'll
move on. Right. Exactly. Okay. Here we go. How many steps? Only 3 steps. The equation. What? The equation is close to point. Wait, we have to go like.
Come on.
This is overkill. This is like overkill.
Stupid.
But wait a second. They may be doing this from a what's the word? Pedantic point of view to teach how to do it.
Well, that's if you're preparing your mind. The point of pedantic stuff is for teaching. And then after you learn from the pedantic presentation, you have the knowledge to move ahead and solve problems efficiently.
Right. Yeah, I know you hate when I say this, but what percent of the people who do this problem did it this way? Probably no one. I wish
Anyone who did it this way is likely they get it wrong.
Right. But it does bring up the point of view that I call this the backwards problem, The forwards problem, if
Wait,
y,
stupid thing. It's close. I'm going to criticize it. It's close to point slope form.
that's
It's
crazy.
not
That is crazy.
close to it. It's exactly point slope form where the A0 constant is 0.
No, they would have liked you to write a minus 0 is 3.5 negative 88 plus m. This
Yeah,
is completely.
but
So
0 is,
whoever wrote
is
this up
say
is
these
crazy.
expressions are the same thing,
Right, right,
equivalent.
right, right, right. But anyway, I always call this the backwards question. Why is it? Because you're given the answer. You're given the answer for the output of the function. You're told the output of the function must be 0.
Yeah,
So what must be 0? The
yeah,
output is 0. So what must be the input?
yeah.
By nature, human beings, I think, like the forward question more. Given the number of months, given the input, what is the output?
Yeah, yeah.
So
Again, it's I really object to their explaining it this way
I know you could get
because
over it, Seth.
the
Get over it.
direct approach
Get
is the
over it.
meaning in algebra in terms of calculations and numbers,
Yeah.
and so it's a distraction to introduce a geometric significance to this.
Yes, it is. It is. It is. It's completely ridiculous. Completely ridiculous. Seth is
Uh,
really upset. I hope
that's why we do these videos because we like to what is that
we stamp the
tell
problem in the
truth
heart.
to power.
We try. This is what you should do on these tests.
We stand up against authority.
Baby boomers that we are.
That's what we
proud
are.
of it. Proud of it.
Children of the 60s,
but
1960s, not 2060s.
Right. But yes, we're really saying something really important. When you have a problem, no matter what it is, math, not even math, stab it in the heart. Go for it. Just boom.
Kill it. Yeah.
Kill it. Just
No,
if you have a problem, you
treat
stab
it
it in the heart.
Treat it with confidence and sympathy.
Yes. And that's right. Confidence and sympathy. Yes. Just basically solve the problem. To stay focused on the problem. And the problem is simply making A be 0 and figure out what M is.
What value of M makes the formula on the right 0?
That's all it is. Okay, I think
so
we're
it's
done.
a kiddie problem. You subtract 88 from a number. What number makes it when you subtract 88?
Right.
You get 0. That's obviously 88.
Well, but by the way, we didn't do it more methodically. Let's do it more methodically. Okay, I need to do this. You would not, please.
I wouldn't do it methodically.
No. But please do not distribute. Please do not distribute in a situation like this. Divide. No, Seth, I'm telling you, a lot of people do it. Then 0 divided by 3.5 is not undefined. It is
blah blah blah.
It is
blah.
0. And 0 is equal to negative 88 plus m. Then you add 88 to both sides. And m is equal to 88. Okay? Seth, yeah, but you always have to, yes, don't do it this way, but that is how you do it with autocomplete. But whatever you do, please do not distribute these. Do not distribute those. You're totally wasting your time.
Get my head all the way around.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
Seth,
Yeah.
Okay, got it. Okay, so that's it. Seth lost his thing.
If I could turn my head 360 degrees, I would do it.
Right. Okay, so I think we're done. Okay, so I'm Joel. I have a PhD in mechanical engineering from Columbia. Seth, my brother, he has a PhD in math from MIT. He's a professor emeritus at SUNY Albany, taught computer science for many years. And we hopefully offer approaches to solving SAT math questions. Sometimes it's appropriate to do them as one would do in school. Most of the time you do it slightly faster or much faster because it's a time test. In terms of preparing for the math SAT, Khan Academy is good. They offer 2 digital online courses, one for the non-digital SAT, one for the digital SAT. They give you hundreds of problems, 600-700 math questions you can do. They're in partnership with the College Board. So they tell you exactly what you need to know for the test. And then when you're done with that, go to the Math SAT people, College Board, and take as many practice tests as you can. And you should be well prepared for the test. And then please give us comments on our videos. We really appreciate all comments, positive, negative. And if you have any math SAT questions, please email them to us at satmathquestionoftheday@gmail.com. And I think next week we'll be taking off, is the last week of the year. And then we will come back in January where we can hopefully meet once a day, Monday through Friday. That's it.
That's all set. Thank you.
That's it. Okay, and stay warm in that really warm-looking sweater. That looks so comfortable. Okay, take care, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.